How to do, y'all? Tables here. I wanted to go over my thoughts on 3.22 because we do have we do have quite a bit to cover. The main mechanic, Trial of the Ancestors, it's pretty cool. It's almost like a little bit of TFT, a little bit of heist, and I'm kind of here for it. It actually looks really good. The rewards look really good. It is definitely a pretty involved league, much like Heist in some fashion. Not really in terms of mechanically speaking, but just in the being involved, aspect of it. Navali's coming back, so we're silver coins, which is really exciting. It seems extremely in depth with items that you can equip to your little guys that you're putting on the board. There's unit placement decisions that you're going to have to make, which is really exciting. I love that. We have battlefield items and things of that nature to help you succeed in your tournament. And we have different tribe types that we can mix together. Try to come up with the best team possible for our continued success. We also have, as part of the rewards, our passive skill tree tattoos. Now, I know I'm not the only one. A lot of times when I make builds, we have a lot of stat bloat, and sometimes we don't have enough stats at all. But for those builds that do have a lot of stat bloat, you can now replace small passive and large passive stat nodes, like raw stat nodes, with certain tattoos that give you all different kinds of stats. And I think honestly that's a really unique way to create power. I think it's not I don't think it's super invasive. I think it's very unique. I think it's extremely simple to understand. And I think it adds a reasonable amount of power for a very small amount of investment. And I think it melds quite perfectly into literally any build across the board. And I think it's a really fantastic addition. And I'm really looking forward to it. And then we have we have the omens. Honestly, which, I think the omens are a bit of a meme service mixed in with a little bit of real world applicable, action. And I think they're fun. I think they're cool. I'm definitely going to be using them. And I just think they're kind of a pinata of things to give us in the league. So I think it's going to be kind of neat. More or less how they work. You put an omen in your inventory. There's one that creates a portal on death. If you die, it's consumed, and you get your portal. Things like that. They're, they were almost. It kind of reminds me of a game called Hellbreath that I played when I was super young. And you carried around this Zima stone. This stone you would put in your inventory, and if you died in PvP, the stone would drop instead of all your gear. Right? It's a little bit like that. The omen serves a purpose. And then we have the really crazy item, the locket of hair, Hinakora's locket. It's crazy. I don't have to tell you how profoundly amazing this is for crafters. Being the last step of a mere tier item, and all you need to do is exalt, and it could either break it or not. Now you know whether or not it's worth doing that. And this is a game changer. That lock of hair is a game changer. It's just crazy. I think Trial of the Ancestors is quite possibly going to be a fan favorite. I really think so. I think it's engaging enough, and I don't think it's so in depth like Heist that it feels claustrophobic. So I'm excited for one. We also, which was kind of a surprise to me, Sanctum. Sanctum's been added to the core game. I think we all knew that there was going to be something added to the core game this league, be it Ultimatum, or Sanctum, or another one. I think we all, figured that there was going to be something added. I'm kind of glad it was Sanctum, even though Sanctum wasn't my favorite. I found it very tedious personally, and I probably will not be playing it as a currency strategy. With that said, there's a lot of really good changes here. Like, for instance, Forbidden Tomes. They're tradable, just like Alva Temples. right? You do your first floor, you can either continue it or sell it. You do your second floor, it'll have the first two floors, continue it or sell it. I think this is pretty massive. I think it makes Sanctum viable, more than viable for currency farming. I think it's going to be one of the top contenders for currency farming. And a lot like Delvers, I think build makers are going to define builds just for Sanctum, just like they do for Delve. And the fact that they're tradable is a pretty big change. And I think a very welcome and positive one for core mechanics. Unfortunately, there won't be there's no sanctified relics, which is a good thing. Power creep is an issue, and it should really be localized to a single mechanic, i.e., the mechanic of the most current league. And I think that's a proper change. I never really got anything good from sanctified relics when we did Sanctum. I don't really care that they're not in. I'm kind of glad that they're not, so we can focus on the current league's mechanics. Power creep. I'm kind of about it. The normal relics are tradable and they're rebalanced, which is a good thing. Your resolve is now affected by armor and evasion and energy shield, and that's a nice little change. I love that. Makes it a little less, a little more forgiving for players who aren't as experienced. And I think that's a good step forward for introducing new players to a new league. I think that's a step in the right direction. I think that all the changes to Sanctum have been good, and I, for one, am really excited that it's coming back into the game. And I know that it's been a fan favorite of the community. I think it's log in, hands down. Something else that's crazy is the changes to the end game. We have 16 new Atlas passive keystones. Some of these are really crazy. Okay, the objective of the Atlas passive tree is to give you just tons and tons of different ways to play the end game, and tons of ways to make currency and get items and get gear and farm different kinds of currencies. It's always served a purpose. And now they're kind of expanding that purpose into something a little bit more a little bit more fun and wacky and kind of oddball and off the wall. And I think that's a really fun direction to take the end game. Because I think a lot of people find the end game very kind of serious and honed in at the same time while being expansive. And most people find this is the best pathing and stuff like that. But now we have things like really unique things like Expedition's single explosion node. Instead of placing a bunch of different explosions, you just place one single one. How cool is that? It's so neat. And then we have the Tormented Spirits where it possesses you and then you get stronger. And then you can touch mobs and make them more powerful. I think that particular Atlas passive keystone is pretty much going to be mandatory. It looks extremely broken, and I think I think it's going to be very insane. And then my personal favorite that they announced, the Blight Atlas keystone that essentially makes it to where you don't do very much damage and your towers do a shit ton more. And it turns it into a real true tower defense game. So I'm about it. I think it's really cool. I think it's kind of wacky, and it just changes and shakes up the meta of the in-game grind, which is needed, to be honest. I would have really liked to see a rework to Metamorph, personally speaking. But what we got, I mean, chef's kiss, honestly. Fantastic. And the Trial of the Ancestors, we're also getting 14 new support gems. 14 is kind of crazy, and I'm personally very excited for this. I one of the things I look forward to most in a new league are new skill gems, because I've played almost every skill to the end game and have tested and figured out what I like, what I don't like, what I want to make builds on and stuff. But new support gems, honestly, it's going to be kind of crazy. It's gonna provide a pretty large meta shakeup. At least I think so. You don't always have to have new skills for a meta shakeup. I think supporting gems are lacking in a lot of ways for a lot of builds. So I'm really excited to see what these new gems come up with, even for like really, really old and existing skills. And they might take those back to the tippy top where they used to be. We have transformative support gems like for war cries that turn them into damaging abilities, which is kind of crazy. We have prod return for spells. Minions get adrenaline and crit. Cold dot link support, which is crazy. I don't know why they're like still obsessed with link skills because like I think maybe 10 people ever use them in a league. But hey, go off GGG. And then like the really crazy one where you can throw mines that use attack skills from bows and wands. Like a KB miner. Think about that for a second. A KB miner. I can't even fathom. It looked so cool. So I think we're in for a pretty big meta shakeup this league with these new support gems, and I'm here for it. We love a good meta shakeup, you know. Not to mention like they're gonna do obviously some rebalancing on the existing skills, buffing and nerfing and things like that. Hopefully, hopefully that's the case. But if not, I still think the support gems are enough to shake up the meta. But we'll see. And then we have my favorite, the Ascendancy reworks. We have Guardian that's first up, and Guardian was okay, but it really wasn't it wasn't hardly as popular as it probably should be. And I think they just took the base and just made it better. Like specifically, Bastion of Hope is a lot more reliable with block. You have some very unique minion options and stuff like that. And you know, it's definitely going to be better for party play, but I think you can also more reliably go solo with it. And so I'm really excited for the new Guardian. But Chieftain, oh my gosh, Chieftain is insane. I'm just gonna say it now. Righteous Fire Jug, whatever. Nobody cares anymore. Righteous Fire Witch, nobody cares anymore. Who cares? Lightning Fire or Righteous Fire Templar? It's whatever. This is nuts. This whole ascendancy is nuts. Between giving the mobs no fire res, having all res, and the ability to scale it, I can't wait. I think I might actually just go Righteous Fire Chieftain this league and just kind of like take a chance and do a build and see how it goes. Because I believe that this is going to be the new Righteous Fire Ascendancy. I really do. And I am so beyond excited to see how it looks in POB. And that's it. That's 3.22 in a nutshell. I there's a lot to unpack here. And honestly, I think this is going to be one of the more memorable leagues for me. I'm really excited. We have 3 weeks, give or take, some days or whatever. And the league releases on August 18th. So I will be taking some time off. I'm probably going to be doing some more videos, currency related. And yeah, I'm just really excited. I can't wait. So that's it. That's all I have for y'all. If you guys like this video and you like this like little format of kind of my thoughts on things for PoE, please, if you feel so inclined, like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. It really helps out the channel. And I appreciate you guys' time. I hope y'all have a wonderful rest of the weekend. Take care of yourselves and be good.